Hello guys, welcome to Net Experts. My name is Sudhanshu Kapoor. Today I'm going to start the 14th lecture of Microsoft Windows Server 2019 series. In the previous lecture, we learned about enterprise storage in Server 2019. In this lecture, we are going to learn about configure SAN storage network in Server 2019. Let's start the session, guys. This is my server, as you can see that. So we have two virtual machines, server one and server two. Server one is my PDC, it's abc.com, and server two is another server, and it's a member server, as you can see that. It's a member server. Okay, so this server is becoming a. You can see that I connect this server to my domain controller, and I add this server to a member server to a domain network. Okay, like how we can add client in domain network, like same I can add this server to a domain network. As you can see that if I open my this PC properties, so as you can see that it shows me this is my member server and it's a part of abc.com domain. Okay, fine. Now now today I'll showing you the lab practical of how we can implement SAN storage. For that, what we need, if I showing you for that what we need one like this. If I open my MS Paint, so what we need, as you know that we need one physical storage. So right now I don't have any physical storage, so what I do, I make one server over there like this. This is my server, imagine. Okay, this is my DC, as you can see that this is the server one. I make this big. Okay. Okay, so this is my server one, and this is my DC, as you can see that this is my PDC. Okay, and my PDC domain name is abc.com in my case. Okay, now what I need to do, I need to attach one storage. Okay, so right now I don't have a physical storage, so I attach one virtual storage, as you can see that. So imagine this is my virtual storage. This is my hard disk. This is my virtual hard disk, HDD. Okay, virtual hard disk, and the hard disk of this space is, as you can see that, like if I go for the space, so imagine I give 50 GB space to this hard disk, 40 GB only. Okay, and I attach this hard disk to my PDC. I attach this over there. It's connected with the PDC. Okay, now I make this PDC as a SAN server. Okay, so I make this server as a SAN server. Okay, so how I can install SAN server? So I need to install one role over there. The role name is iSCSI. iSCSI target server. Role name is target. I need to install this role. Okay, once I install this role, this server becoming a SAN server. Okay, and I have one server more, you can say that. Like imagine this is my file server. I'll showing you how we can make file servers, and this also. So this is my file server. Imagine this is my file server, and I can maintain some data, because you can see that I have some data over there. Okay, now out of 40 GB, with the help of my SAN server, out of 40 GB, I can provide 20, or you can say 30 GB space to my file server. I provide 30 GB space to my file server. Okay, virtually. So I provide 30 GB. That 30 GB is known as LUN. Okay, fine. So like this is what we need to do. Okay, so as you can see that we already have, so I already have my I'm right now I'm in my DC. This is my, sorry, as a member server, I need to go to my DC first. This is my DC. First I need to attach the storage. So how we can attach the storage? First I click on that, click on settings. I go to my server 1 settings, server 1 VM settings. Over there I can attach one hard disk. Okay. Okay, so as you can see that the virtual machine settings are open now. I just click on add over there. Click on yes. Now we have the option hard disk. Click on next. Now we need to go for SCSI. Click on next again. Create a new virtual disk. Now I'm going to attach 50 GB. Okay. Just click on this. Go for 40 GB. It's okay with me. 40. Okay. Click on store. Click on next. Click on finish. So as you can see that I have two hard disks now. 40 GB, which I created with the when I going to create virtual machine. Now I attach 40 GB more. Click on OK. Now where I'm going to see this hard disk, I need to open disk management. Disk mgmt. This is the command to open disk management. It's opening disk management. As you can see that disk management is there. So as you can see that we have two disks now. Disk 0 is my 40 GB where I can install operating system, and disk 1 is my disk 0 is the 40 GB where I can install operating system, and disk 1 is the 40 GB again, which is just assigned right now. Let's click on online. Now they ask me, now go for initialize again, right click on that. Now they ask me the partition table, MBR and GPT, so I use MBR over there and click on OK. Now as you can see that disk 1 is connected now. Now click on, now I'm going to create the volume. So I use full 40 GB, place on E drive, next and finish. As you can see that my one volume is created, E drive, which is the space is 40 GB, and it's created in the disk 1. Okay. Now what I need to do, I need to, okay, now I need to check first whether this volume is, I open my file explorer. So as you can see that it's showing me E drive 40 GB. Okay. Now I'm going to configure this server as a SAN server. So how we can go for that? I just go to start. We have the option server manager. I open server manager over there. And now with the help of roles and features, I'm going to install iSCSI target server. Okay, in my server. After installing iSCSI target server, that server is becoming a SAN server. Okay, now I just click on add rules. Click on next. Click on next. This is my server 1. Okay, and the IP address of my server 1 is 10.1.1.1 abc.com. It's a DC. Next. Now okay, so as you can see that now I need to expand this file and storage services. I expand file and iSCSI services. Now over there we have the option iSCSI target server. I need to check this option. Okay, right now I'm in roles. Okay, in roles I need to expand first file and storage services, then file and iSCSI services, then we have the option iSCSI target server. Now click on next. Click on next. Now I just check restart automatically. Enable restart automatically. Click on install now. Now it's going to install iSCSI target server on my DC. You can do this iSCSI target server installation, or you can make this make the SAN server in workgroup as well. It's not mandatory that you need a domain network for SAN server. If your machine is running in workgroup, so that you can configure the SAN servers. Okay, so it's not optional, it's optional, as you can say that. Okay, we can create SAN servers in domain network as well. We can create SAN servers in work group networks as well. Okay, let's wait for installation. It takes some time. 64% something is completed, I think. Yeah, 64% is completed. It takes still 1 or 2 minutes to complete this. Yeah, it's okay. So as you can see that installation is completed. The installation is successfully installed. iSCSI target server is successfully installed on this server. Now just click on close. Now as you can see that we have the option. So now how we can access the just ignore this. Now how we can access the iSCSI target server? As we have the option file and storage services. Click on that. We have the option iSCSI. Okay. After installing the iSCSI target server, it's showing you iSCSI over there. Okay. Under file and storage services. Click on that. We have the option iSCSI. Click on that. Now we need to create the iSCSI target. Okay. So now click on this to install iSCSI target server. Okay, it's already installed, I hope. Okay. Yeah, iSCSI target server is installed. What happens? Okay, I need to refresh once. Just wait. Okay, refresh once. It's already installed the role. Yeah. Okay, so now you can see that they told me that okay, you need to create the virtual space for iSCSI. Okay, so I just click on iSCSI virtual disk. Click on that. Now I'm going to create the virtual space, that how much space I need to provide my server to. Okay, so now we have an E drive 40 GB which will assign. Now click on next. I select the E drive which will assign 40 GB. Click on next. Now they ask me what's the disk name. Give the space name, as you can see that. So I'm creating the virtual disk, as you can see it, and that disk provided by server 2. I go for disk 1. I go for disk 1. Now click on next. Now after 40 GB means you can see that the total space is 40 GB. Now how much I need to use? I go for 20. Okay. Now we have the two options: fixed size, dynamically expanding, and differencing. If you click on fixed size, okay, so fixed size means like if I use fixed size, so it doesn't matter you are able to you using the space or not. It's automatically deducted that much space in server 1. Okay, it doesn't matter that you are using or not. Okay. If you click on dynamically expanding, the dynamically expanding means that it's not deducting the space right now. When you're going to use the space slowly, okay, then it's going to deduct the space in server 1. Okay, so we mostly use dynamically expanding over there. Now click on next. Now they ask you the target where you want to deploy this space. Now click on new target. Now give the target name. So over there I go for my target name is okay. I go for target 1. Okay, my target name is target 1. Click on next. Okay, in description you can write out this space is for server 2. Okay, now click on next. Now they ask me, click on add. Now they ask me the IP address. Okay, we have so many options. Either we can go for DNS, IP address, MAC address. We can define the MAC address in server 2 as well. We can define the IP address also. So right now I'm using IP address. I define my server 2 IP address over there. So my server 2 IP address is 10.0.10.1.1.2. This is my server 2 IP address. Now click on OK. As you can see that it's added now. Click on next. Now they ask me for authentication. If you want any authentication when I'm going to access this space, so they ask me username, passwords. If you want this, you can go for it's optional one, because I'm not using this right now. Click on next. Now they're asking me everything. Now they're showing me everything. Okay, the server which I create, the disk location is there. This is the server. My server virtual disk properties. My server my disk name is disk 1. I assign 20 GB. Okay, target is target 1. This space is for server 2. And access server is 10.1.1.2. The server who has IP address 10.1.1.2 is only able to access this disk space. Okay. Now click on create over there. So as you can see that it's creating the space. Now you can see that it's created. Now click on close. Now as you can see that
the target 1 is created, but now it's not connected still. It's created. Okay, means in server 1 the disk space is created. I assign 40 GB to server 2, but now I need to access once. Now I'm going to server 2 now. Now I need to access this space. How we can access this space? So I'm showing you. First I need to log in. This is my server 2, it's a member server. Okay, now I'm going to access this. So how we can access this? Either go to start. We have the option over there, admin tools. In admin tools we have the option iSCSI initiator. With the help of this services we are able to access the LUNs. Okay, so that is, we already created the LUN, okay, in server 1. Now I'm going to access it. So iSCSI initiator. So they asked me that right now the iSCSI service is not running. If you want to run this services, press yes button. I click on yes. Okay, now the iSCSI initiator properties are open. Now I need to give my target. Now where my target is? My target is in server 1. So I need to define my server 1 IP address over there. So 10.1.1.1. Okay, and after that click on quick connect over there. So as you can see that it shows me I connected the target 1 over there. It's connected for me. Okay, it's connected my target 1 already. Click on done. Click on OK. Now you can see that if I open my disk management over there in server 2. So this is my disk management. Right now I'm in server 2, as you can see that. I'm in server 2. Okay, and as you can see that 20 GB space is there now. I assigned 20 GB to my server 2. So this is showing me disk 1 is 20 GB. Now right click on that, click on online. So you can see that I click on initialize, choose partition table, and you can see that disk 1 is there now. Now I create the partition. I assign one partition, full space 20 GB. Okay, now you can see that in E drive 20 GB is there. Now if I open my file explorer and click on this properties, this PC, and you have the option E drive over there. 20 GB I have there now. Okay, so through server 1 I am able to access the 20 GB space. Okay, with the help of iSCSI initiator. So iSCSI target server is used to create the LUN, and iSCSI initiator is used to access that LUN space. Because as you can see that if I go to my server 1 and I refresh this server manager, so as you can see that they're showing me that now this LUN is connected. As you can see that, see, it's connected now. Target 1, it's connected. Okay, like this. Now if you open this E drive and you can save anything, you can save anything. Okay, now one thing I also showing you, like you need to go to server 1 again. Now close this server manager. Now I try to open my file explorer, and as you can see that in E drive we have one iSCSI virtual disks are there, as you can see that. And if I open this, they're showing me we created disk 1, and right now it's occupied how much space? It's occupied right now, this disk 1, 132 MB space is occupied right now, because I'm not save anything over there right now. Okay, so it saves everything in my server 1. So whatever I can save in server 2, whatever I can save in this drive, whatever I can save in this E drive, okay, it saves in server 1, where in the disk 1. Like imagine that if you have any issues, like imagine that if I have my file is deleted, or my file is corrupted, as you can see that, or my disk is not working properly, but with the help of the server 1 I'm able to recover it. So it's already, you can see that it's already there. Okay, and if I check this disk properties, or it's a VHD, as you can see that, see, it's created in VHDX. So it means I can mount this disk in some other virtual machines as well, because it's a virtual disk. Okay, fine. So like this is the way how we can configure SAN. Okay, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching.